Hello everyone, my name is Declan McGlynn and we are live once again from our hub. Very busy today.
Very
lots of
busy.
students around. This is JC, our
Hello.
director. Yeah, you can probably hear in the background, we just installed some TR8s in this bad boy.
Yes,
And they are rocking the place,
absolutely.
as they do. This week's plugin of the week, we're taking a look at a free plugin, so it's good for everyone.
Absolutely. It's the Sie-Q.
Sie-Q from Soundtoys.
From Soundtoys.
One of our favourites.
Absolutely. And it's their first EQ.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know
First
that.
EQ. They've always done processors,
Yeah.
decapitator, the Echo Boys, phasers, and all that. It's actually their first EQ.
Most of them are effects units.
Yes, and that's their first that kind of processor. So it's an EQ, and it's more importantly free
Yes.
until tomorrow.
Okay, so we have to get it
13th
today.
of October. So it's today.
Before midnight.
You may be able
US time.
tomorrow to get it, but I'm not even sure. If I were you, I would do it today.
Yeah.
It's free. All you need to do is register an account with Soundtoys.
And you do need an iLock?
You don't need an
pesky
iLock,
iLocks?
but you
No?
need an iLock account.
Okay.
So you just register with iLock again, and then once you download the plugin, register for it or buy it for free. They will send an activation. You can activate it twice, so 2 computers.
Okay.
You get 2 activation. It will go onto your iLock account. From your iLock, you get a little app, which is this one here. iLock here. You can look at it actually quickly. There's no internet connection, but as you can see, here it is activated on here.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this new Soundtoys, that you don't need to require an iLock, a physical iLock. It's just
Finally.
an activation. Easier for me to move across computers, deactivate, reactivate on
Yeah,
another
totally.
machine.
Of
It's
course.
great. So
The dongle is a nightmare.
yeah, absolutely. So so maybe we should talk a little bit about EQ before we start diving into listening to it.
Siemens, before
we'll
Siemens
wait.
made mobile phones.
And washing machine and
Yes.
coffee machine.
Consumer products, yeah.
And Hoovers and whatever they made. So it's based on a Siemens modular console called, I don't know how to pronounce it, Citroen or Citroen.
Okay.
The model was W295B. It was a modular console. Late 50s, 60s, definitely 60s, maybe late 50s. Amazingly built. You know, those kind of, it's on par with the Neumann. That kind of really solid build.
Yeah.
Amazing discrete transistor.
Yeah.
Wherever it's signed, you know, in the sound quality that you're getting. And something that people that didn't realize how good it was. I think if you go on Gear Slots and those kind of websites, the people in the know,
Yes.
you know, will be
Well, people
definitely.
who think they're in the know, anyway.
Oh, that's a different story. Some are. Will, you know, 10 years ago, they're probably the kind of unit you could get for $200. You know, when people were fighting to get 1073s, those ones you could get them for cheap, and they sound absolutely amazing. So maybe we should have that done a little bit before we start going into listening to it. So yeah, amazing EQ, really, really simple, and it's one of those that has a fixed high, a fixed low. The hardware version was even indented in the sense that
Oh, it's stepped.
stepped.
Right, okay.
So the bottom end was by 2 dBs increment or decrement, and 3 dB for the top end. The mid was, I think, 1 dB, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong, don't quote me on that. In terms of the shape, it's a fix. I haven't been able to find which exact frequency they are fixed at. The mid, you've got 6 bands, 700, 1, 1.5, 2.3, 2.5, 3.5, and 5.6.
Okay.
So all that are fixed. The top and bottom are shelves, but they have an interesting shape. And if you download the manual, if you get this plugin, which I repeat, you really should. And I'm not advertising for Soundtoys, just because I've played with it now for a few days, and I absolutely love it. I really, really, truly love it. It sounds so musical. So the shape of it is a kind of a shelf, but as many of the old kind of vintage EQ, the curve is becoming narrower or more bell-like the more you boost,
Right, okay.
or the more you cut.
So it's not just flat increased
It's just
flat, decreased,
it's just
yeah.
an increased flat. A lot of the mid EQ. Can we close the doors? Sorry, we're just because after a while I really want to get into the music. Yeah, in the mid, for example, it's a really smooth curves, but then the more you boost, the narrower the curve the bed is becoming. Logic actually can emulate that.
As we've seen before, is it called
Have we gone through that before?
We
I've shown
have
that
in another
before?
video, but let's do
Yeah.
it now just to see.
So I mean, the concept of it, I could quickly bring that up, just to show how that works.
It's in the little drop down Q couple. That's it.
Yes, but if you see here, you see, it becomes narrower.
Yeah.
It's wider and
You
narrower.
can see the color getting thinner.
Yeah, it's the Q couple here. If you don't do that, look, it stays absolutely the same.
Yeah.
So the curve isn't changing. And as we all know, the curve of an EQ is a big part of its sound. Very much so, obviously, among other things, but really part of it. So this has that kind of behavior. On the top, the more you boost, the more a bell you're getting. And I would say the top from hearing is about probably 12, and the bottom around 50. But because the EQ is not, we can't call it a center fixed EQ because the curve is changing constantly. So I think the best thing to do is, I've put it on every single channel, as you can see, and maybe I should really sorry about that, I'm gonna bypass all of those.
Yeah, you might recognize this track from some other videos.
It is one of yours, I believe.
It is indeed.
It is a Holmes price. There has been
work
a lot
in
of demand
progress.
for it. There has been a demand for Holmes price. I've noticed in the
I
comment.
know, we'll see what happens.
And again, I really like that track. You know,
Oh, thank you very much.
it sounds
not
great.
finished, but yeah.
But yeah, so I think we've used it for the NLS, haven't
Yeah,
we?
NLS, yeah, Waves
Yeah,
NLS video.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's have a listen to the track. And the first thing I've done is put it on the master.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty convincing. So
It almost sounds compressed, but that could be the drive control.
exactly.
Just,
So there's one thing that we need to realize is that I'm gonna bring that back. EQ is flat.
yeah. So already the drive. Yeah,
The
that's
drive is doing it. So now
giving
maybe
it
it would be
kind of
interesting to
compression.
listen without the drive at all. Let's have a listen without the drive. There's already a little bit of something, isn't
Oh, yeah.
it? They've emulated the kind of
it's-
electronic,
Yeah.
going through electronic, and it's
circuits,
changing. And as we know, many engineers, or especially mastering engineers, often use that trick of just putting it through the electronic of a piece of hardware without touching it, without actually doing anything, and it's already changing the sound a little bit. Now, one thing that the original hardware didn't have was the drive. And I've got to say, the drive has a boost of up to 8 dB. No, 15, sorry. 15 or minus dB. But even if you boost it, it takes a while before distorting. And here, I suspect that the
It must be a
distortion-
feedback system because
Yeah.
it's not flipping the channel, so it's feeding
It
back.
has an automatic makeup gain.
Okay.
Yeah. The idea, I think, it's supposed to boost before or after the mic pre, the output amp. I have to check again in the module, but you noticed, and very subtle. Subtle. Whatever it is that it's doing for me,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And you haven't touched the EQ yet.
We haven't touched the EQ at all. So maybe we can back it up a little bit and say, okay, well, let's be conventional. And then we're going to bring in the top end. Again, so the top end has a plus 15 and minus 15 dB booster cut. Even up here, how musical
Never
it
gets
is.
too harsh. Yeah.
It never gets too harsh. Is about right here? The bottom end, I'd be careful because, obviously I'm going to boost it, but that means I normally would probably bring down the kick or, otherwise we're overdoing it. But here we're trying to be a bit obvious in terms of showing what it does. Really round. It has that kind of round, but what I love about it, it's not only round and warm, but it's quite tight. It's not too wobbly
Soupy,
and all
yeah.
over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's probably because you're getting that bell, the more you're boosting, you're getting that bell instead of getting a shell that is constantly and boosting the sub. You're suddenly getting that, so it's a bit more
It also
focused.
seems to be introducing, it might be the drive, a second harmonic.
Yeah.
It's giving it a bit of a resonance.
Yeah. Let's try without the...
It's always hard when the volume goes down.
It's really quite tight. And the harmonic, I think you're right, the harmonic is generating, the drive is generating.
It is, yeah.
You see straight away we're boosting it now.
You can hear that resonance.
Yeah, but it's not an unpleasant one.
No.
You know. And obviously
No, it
this EQ is, I don't think it's necessarily designed to work on the mix bus, but it works for me. Really works.
Yeah.
So, okay, really works for the mix bus. Now
Absolutely.
let's try on some other elements, shall we? Bass.
Just to say, that is actually an analog synth.
It is a real.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Which one is it?
CS10, Yamaha CS10.
Sweet.
But it's about to get even more analog
It is about to become a little bit analog. So
with software.
in the software world, exactly.
Oh,
Check it out.
Yeah, it's big. That mid is helping. Yeah, I like that 1 kilohertz.
The 1K is really helping to pull
Yeah.
it through, isn't it? And that's what I wanted to start looking at. The mids frequency are really nice as well. I think that's what I love about, compared to maybe more digital EQ, linear phase or the Logic ones. Some of those vintage EQ, when they're well made, it has a really warm mid as well, which is really focused and quite pleasant. Just really lovely.
Yeah, never gets too harsh. And
Never get
that's
too
such
harsh.
a difficult frequency to get right. 1K,
Yeah, the 1K. Yeah,
it's
but
so
when they're
sensitive.
right, they're really awesome.
Yeah, like underneath.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously the bass works really wet on there. A bit of top end puts it across. You hear the difference on the mix? Really helps.
Yeah.
And obviously the drive.
Big, yeah. So it's almost doing more to the low end than the low dial is, the drive. Yeah.
You're absolutely right, the combination of both.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the manual or maybe on the Soundtoys website, they're saying if you want that real analog sound, try the combination of the decapitator and the Sie-Q. And I can see where they're going with that. I think I'm gonna like them together very, very much. So, works a treat, huh? Let's see what it can do on the kick. Just doing that is awesome.
Yeah, it's better with that.
I'm a massive fan of drive. I mean, more and more, I've got to say, for me, in mixing, I'm finding that I'm working more and more with subtle drive, subtle harmonic distortion. It means that you tend to compress less. You don't need to compress as much. You don't need to work on your EQ, your top end, as much. You're getting that kind of bite in the middle. I mean, it's just, anybody who's fan of that kind of sound, really, I think for me, it really works. And nowadays, with that EQ, it's going to become definitely part of my go-to. You know, that with, I've got to say, the Wave NLS as well, you know, the decapitator, obviously. I'm starting to find a handful of, then almost I'm thinking building my console based on those devices and have almost like a template, like as if it was a console.
Yeah, totally.
So it really works on the kick. Let's try as well, maybe, there was something.
There's a sub kick in there as well.
There's a sub kick on there here.
Third one, yeah.
Maybe that one is a bit too subby to notice what it
it's
does.
something to bear in mind when you're boosting lows on one
Yeah,
sound.
true. That always seems to work, the drive. What can I say? And maybe let's put them all on. Because what I've done is I've put it across, and just before I was playing with it, and like we said, you know, just having it flat with no drive on anything, it seems to really work. works a treat as well, isn't it? I've put it a little bit on the guitar. So we've boosted the 2.3 this time with the drive. I love how it brings. Did you have a spring reverb on it?
Yeah. Guitar rig. Yeah, you can hear that being
You
pulled
can hear
forward,
how it's
yeah.
bringing the
It's
spring reverb.
I think that drive is just compressing so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit of what some of the other Soundtoys plugins do. Little radiator. The other one as well, the radiator. There's another one, I can't remember what which one is. It's the red one, the Devil Lock, which is like ultra crazy compression type of that used to be used on some system for mics on cheap system and stuff. And they're really kind of bringing that a mixture of compression, drive, working together. You're not quite sure what it does, but then the result just sounds, it's like as if you have a button that sounds better.
Yeah, I like that button. Yeah.
I like that button a lot,
It's much like NLS and
yeah.
BCC as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guitar now cut through.
Yeah.
You can bring it down even a volume.
Yeah. So even though the drive has an automatic makeup gain, you still need to watch your levels. It's
Yeah,
still
because
not-
there's an increase of level, isn't
Yeah.
it? There's definitely an increase of level.
What are you doing in the toilets, people?
Hey. Who knows?
Who knows?
But this is kind of like a 80s chopped choir,
Yeah.
so definitely will benefit from some mid-range.
And let's have a listen to that. It's really cutting through really nicely, the 3K. Again, 3K is normally a frequency that is a bit... I mean, 2.5,
Nasally, yeah.
2 point is... But this one is just really lovely. Oh, I love that. Let's bring a bit of that. Never harsh.
No.
I mean, they all work. And it's one of those, they've picked up the frequency in such a really lovely musical way that you seem to be able to boost anywhere.
Get
And
away with it.
remember, we shouldn't boost on every single frequency, but... So maybe this one, let's try a bit of a cut.
There you go.
Perfect timing.
Soundtoys.
So,
Sie-Q, is that fancy?
it's called Sie-Q.
Even though it's Siemens, it's Sie-Q.
It's Siemens, Sie-Q, I'm not quite sure. I mean, well,
Sie could be Sie-Q.
could be
Anyway,
Sie-Q.
One of those, it's free as of the next while, next
It
10
says
hours,
until
12
the
hours.
It says
so-
until the 13th of October, so I don't know if it's including the 13th.
Right.
Just in case, go now.
Yes, go and get it.
Um,
And if you want to have it, come and see our beautiful school, and I'll be one of those lucky students who was in the toilet for a long time, or playing on the TRA, or playing the Torres, which we just got, the new Pioneers.
Yes.
We've got so much kit here.
Yeah,
Come
there's
and
lots
see it
of-
for
yeah.
yourself. We do tours on Wednesdays at 5:30, Saturdays at 12:30.
So in an hour, basically.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you can come and see this place for yourself. Just go to our website, pointblankmusicschool.com, and hit the contact us button, and you can book yourself on a tour. We'll be back on Friday, 2 days time, for another FFL, back on, don't we?
Yeah, we do them
So
on
we're
Facebook
back right
as
here
well.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
What are we doing on
the
Friday?
Torres, the
Torres.
Pioneer Torres, yes. Very nice bit of kit.
Yeah, I mean, we can play with it here in the hub.
Yeah, we can. We'll do that
Students
right
have
now.
been starting, and we will do that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we'll be back on Friday, and we're back next week for another plugin of the week. So we'll see you then. Cheers.